Well, it's episode
We did
52 of the Inane Blather
52.
podcast.
Here it is.
Oh, Inane Blathering
exactly.
on politics from a real communist gender studies sociologist major or whatever. And her idiot brother, the fake economist.
Oh, yeah. Or something like that.
We are sliving, not living. That's our stance from now on.
Sliving it up.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
That's our other stance from now on. And also, it is the #1 program to be sponsored by, brought to you by, and spoken by
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
That was a little loud, but
Though,
I don't
honestly,
care anymore.
I haven't...
I don't care about anything.
Yeah. Did you care before?
Too much. No, what were you saying?
Just kidding. I was thinking, I haven't fact-checked whether or not we're the only ones that are too headstrong,
Stubborn, quibbling,
preoccupied-
self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
or something like that. Yeah.
Something like
Maybe-
that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, we
Is
are
that Donald Trump Jr.?
Yes. We are the only podcast to give every subscriber a crystal flute. But the only listeners who will understand that are subscribed to RM Brown. So
that should be every single one of our listeners, because if you think that we're even remotely funny,
that's because
That's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
that's what RM Brown says.
or you're a head bonked individual.
Head bonked
No.
individuals.
Yeah. But
He's the
really,
best.
the reason that you come here to listen to us is because,
The left maximizes evil.
and you're here for it. We're here
and
for
we
it.
appreciate that. Absolutely.
Because,
I love Karl Marx.
but,
Shut the hell up, bitch.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you.
yeah, exactly.
So much
Go
love.
kill yourself.
here.
Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
Imagine people watching that at like 3 in the afternoon.
Yes,
Like, just, like-
exactly. Yeah, him just repeating, well, this is really important stuff that needs to be aired out in therapy in private with some serious family matters. And this is what someone said to like their daughter or something like that. And he's
In front of a
repeating
crowd
it in
of
front of a
people.
crowd of people, immediately followed by like a commercial for Mr. Clean or something like that. Like, good Lord. Or like reverse mortgages. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. American
Dude,
television
satire is dead.
is the best. That's why it's like watching, just sitting down on your virtual couch in GTA 5 and watching TV. It's the best. It's just barely satirical enough at this point. And I mean, that's just because GTA 5 is like 10 years old or something like that. So, But
I just saw,
can't wait
an
for
Onion-
woke GTA 6 to come out because you play as a
Yeah.
girl. Even though she's a fucking
That's so
cop, I
woke.
think. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so woke because you're a girl when you're a cop shooting minorities and killing hookers and driving a car off a bridge. But
It's woke to be having a uterus.
yeah, exactly.
Sure
That's why the
is
world's
woke
gone
of us.
woke, because I think women are like 51% of the world population or something like that. So
Taking over.
majority
I was just thinking
rules.
about
something like that.
Natalie hates non-binary people.
I was thinking about, I just saw The Onion, a video, and the title of it made me laugh so much.
News site.
It's the most trusted source for news. It said a school shooter had a history of school shootings.
Oh my
it was
God.
found- And it's like 15 years old. You know, it's
Wow.
like pretty. I've seen it. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty dark humor. But
I love their dark
it's pretty,
humor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the title of it alone. I was like, oh, The Onion.
Yeah. Layers, something like that. Something like that. Did you see? Did I send you that thing? I saw it a few days ago, where with a school shooting lockdown thing. The kid who did it, everyone is so jaded to this that, like, the headline is that they figured out who did it, and so all of his classmates found his Instagram and just started roasting him. And it's like, and it was at least it wasn't. No one got hurt. Actually, not a shot was fired, but the school got locked down. The kid got expelled, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were just
Something like
posting like the worst comments, like, "Bro, you can't." What? He's got that Stormtrooper aim or something, and like, bro didn't even shoot anybody. Like real
Oh my
comments.
God.
It's like, holy shit,
Wow.
we're so
The
far
internet,
gone.
yeah,
We're so
the
far
internet.
gone.
That's obviously
And
would be
it's
funny
all-
if it wasn't like that children die from school shootings and
Yes.
stuff, you know?
And it's all
like,
in a picture
but it
of
is-
him walking around school grounds with a gun. And like,
But
God.
what is like all of that? It's like, what is an appropriate response? Honestly, is just always just total like fear and anger and just like you're gonna like blow up a building. Because that's kind of what it feels like to be like
Yeah.
without being able to like joke about things, kind of. 'cause
gallows
it's like,
humor?
what, yeah, because it like a school shooter had a history of school shootings, you know, like
Yeah.
because what else? How like you know, kind of a release valve from like how you know it's pretty hard to confront the reality that we live in that people do school shootings and like it's
Yeah.
like a thing that we live with in our lives that we don't really have any control over. Obviously, you know, you can do what you can, you know, you can support people that support gun control or whatever, but as an individual, you're pretty powerless. You know, you feel
Yeah. Well, you feel
but, man, that's
powerful when you
that's really
pick up a
funny though
gun.
when you're commenting on on Instagram like
Yes.
Stormtrooper aim.
I wish
really
that I
funny.
had it to pull up right now. I saw it on Twitter. It was really funny.
Yeah, but yeah, you feel powerful when you pick up a gun. That's for sure.
Well, it's like that's like Homer said, you know, the power I felt when I held that gun. I figured it must be what God feels like when he's holding a gun.
Everyone is stupid except me.
Yeah.
That's on a Futurama episode where it's like a Wizard of Oz thing, and Zoidberg wants courage, and he's like, "You don't need
Oh,
courage,
yeah.
you just need
when
a
you
gun."
have a gun.
Yeah.
That was the best part of that episode. I remember that.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, have you ever, important thing for Pride Month, have you ever seen the movie Snakes on a Plane?
I have seen
Oh my God.
most of it.
I literally had that written down to ask because I figured you hadn't seen it. And I was going to say, yeah, me neither. And I was going to move on.
It's really important Pride Month talk.
It was going to be a total non sequitur. All right, well, let's move on anyway.
That's so funny.
I don't
Yeah,
want to talk
that's
about
really
Snakes
funny.
on a Plane. I haven't seen it, so.
It's keep it group interest. I was gonna say something about Pride actually in talk about how
Okay.
Ben Shapiro just how people are talking about Bugs Bunny
Oh
and
my
like how
God.
all this kind of stuff they're losing their minds over
He
it.
takes
and
it
I was
so
thinking
seriously.
he's taking it so seriously, and also it's like, why isn't he like? He's like, the joke is that it's so absurd for men to dress up like women, and it's like, but it works. Bugs Bunny like gets the attention like as like a femme presenting bunny.
True.
Like people think that he is a girl.
That scheming
It
fool
works.
gets his way.
I mean, it like totally passes. So like people are interested in Bugs like as they would be a girl rabbit, and I don't think that Ben gets that point that it's like,
And you
see,
go
that's
the
what people do when
opposite
they're
way.
presenting gender.
Well,
Like,
and you go the opposite direction too, where it's like, he's like, yeah, but that's the joke. It's funny. It's like, isn't that the joke of drag shows too. It's fun.
Yeah, well,
slash
obviously.
funny. It's camp. It's not serious.
Yes.
It's not going out
For
and
sure.
presenting your gender. It isn't a transgender awareness catwalk. It's a drag show.
It's gay guys.
It's gay
It's
men,
gay men.
dressing
Yeah.
up like women because it's fun, funny, camp,
Because
entertainment.
it's over the top.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, you don't
It's
think
like,
that's
they
exactly
don't
what
even-
Hassan was like. You don't think they're real, like, quote,
They
whatever,
don't dress
real women,
like
you know?
women. They dress like drag queens. Like,
Yes. Look at their makeup. That's insane. No one goes to the store like that.
well, I mean, we can get into things. I mean, there's cultures that we've grown
Well,
up around that
sure.
get pretty close.
But I think
No,
that,
I'm just joking.
yeah. Oh, I was like, oh,
you
I
get
see
some
what
of the
you're saying.
eyebrows and teased hair.
That's-
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to generalize.
Yeah.
This isn't Come Town.
But also, like, how Elmer Fudd and how these, like, guys in Looney Tunes, they don't think that it's camp. They think that they're actually girls. Like, that they're, when
they
you present
think,
your gender,
wow,
people
I'm
treat you
being
like
seduced.
that gender. Yes. And that's like, hey, Ben, that's an example of, like, that what you present is how you want people to treat you, like trans people, if you want to make it a trans issue. That, like, Elmer Fudd is just like, you can see that that's someone dressed like a woman.
just
so you would treat them like a
projecting.
woman. I know.
He's
it's
just
so weird. Like,
projecting.
in
It's
every
like you've
single
got a
way,
high
it's
voice
like the
and
weirdest.
you have drag queen eyebrows already. Like, he's already halfway there. He just hasn't stuffed his shirt. So it's just like,
It's just the weirdest thing to take so seriously too, even though, because in every way he's like wrong in the way that it's like, it's drag, yeah, that's the joke, and we're like, yeah, that's the joke, and all this, and that it's not a real person. This is a cartoon character. Like, it's legitimately, it doesn't exist. Bugs Bunny is not a boy. They're not a girl. They're not trans. They're not drag. They're just like
they're a
drawing
fucking
on a
cartoon
paper.
rabbit. It's
And
like,
that's what he's spending his
oh,
time talking
man.
about. We have like all these crises, like all these epidemics. People are just like, there's school shootings and there's
Yeah.
homelessness and all of this. People just blah, 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 blah. And
There's
he's
a
like,
fire
Bugs Bunny.
that I
Yeah.
can see from my window right now. That's literally burning as we speak. And meanwhile, Ben Shapiro is like being blown away to the point of like an old MTV commercial when he turns on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because he can't comprehend what's going on and what's real and what isn't, you know? Let alone the fact that he's like, Bob Hoskins is in this. I thought he was dead. And it's on my TV right now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, this
What is
came
going
out
on?
in 1984. Well, then how am I watching it right now?
Oh my God. Oh God.
That's what they say every time he walks into a drag show or a Looney Tunes viewing, I guess, because he just doesn't
Yeah.
understand either
He
one.
just doesn't get it. He just has never had like any sort of fun, I guess. It's like, what a not fun life to take things so incredibly seriously. You think that leftists are like uptight? Good God. Yeah, like, and like all this, like, oh my God. You think we're humorless?
Yeah.
Oof.
I
That's
hate
like,
women. I think there's only one gender, man. That's it.
That's why drag
That's what I
exists.
believe. Oh no!
Well, I already feel like shit. I mean, I just I'm running on fumes here. I missed
Funning
recording
on fumes.
yesterday because I was sick, and I'm still kind of sick. I guess I'm just trying to get over it. Get over it, as Eagles said. But let's see here. So, but yeah, I mean, it really sucks that, I mean, to date the show, as we say, I spent the most important day of the year, Jordan B. Peterson's birthday. I spent it sick. I couldn't believe it. You know? So that's the only
were you
important
overcoming
birthday.
a benzo addiction?
Yeah,
That's
I drank some apple cider.
Yeah, that's the only way you should.
Well, I thought it was apple cider, but I just drank a glass of apple cider vinegar. I was like, I don't know what people see in this stuff. It's not good. It's not very good.
Yeah, it was your birthday and you were sick, and I felt really bad for you.
Yeah, it sucked. But at least I had the day off because I usually have that day off. So
So I spent it sick in bed.
Yeah. I spent half of it in bed. I spent the other half of it in my recliner, sweating. So I'm just glad I didn't have COVID. That's kind of weird. I was like, oh, geez, I haven't thought about that. Started off with a nasty headache that did not go away. So I was kind of worried. And then by the end of the day, I was like, oh no, I'm sick. And so I was just curled up, fetal position. Oh, I hate it. I had my dogs to snuggle with. That's what got me through the night. But the worst is when you wake up from a fever night and your room just like smells like sweat. Like
sick.
Yeah. Like I was like, I gotta.
That's what they're describing in like those books. You go into an old Victorian room and the stench of sickness hung in the air. That's your bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, ew, is this a Victorian orphanage where dozens of children have died of consumption? And I'm like, yes, it is. I seem to have got the
at one point. Yeah.
As I hit the elf bar, I got the vapors. But anyway.
That was, and I don't say this lightly, worse than 100 September 11th.
Yep.
That's not that bad, though.
Yeah. So
it could be worse. Could be way worse.
Oh, man. Okay. I was trying to think of which Twitter disaster thread I should bring up on the show that I've been in lately. Nice. One that I'm just consistently getting totally ratioed on because I'm sticking up for Hassan Piker. So, like, no, because, I mean, people hate him, of course, but there's been these kind of viral tweets going around of there's a quote tweet. With a picture of someone, and it just keeps going around. And at first, it would say, who do you think is a, stupid person's idea of a smart person, or who's a
Donald Trump.
Yeah, stuff like that. I did it with Jordan Peterson, I think is a good one. And afterwards, I was just like, oh, James Lindsay, that's a good one. Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
People think he's so smart.
Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro is a good one. But, and someone, a big Twitter person that always shows up in my For You feed for whatever reason, and they're just really annoying to me, but they quote tweeted with Hassan. And so a lot of discourse going on in there. A lot of people hate Hassan big time. But then you wonder, oh yeah. But and then you wonder too, it's like, so what do you disagree with? Is it because like you're a right winger and you disagree with his socialist takes? Is it because you're a lefty and you just hate Hassan like so many people do? Or is it because you just anti-streamer like that and you just, well, the politics stuff is bullshit and they're stupid. There are lots of people like that too. But
yikes.
But it was really surprising when people would be like, well, just name one of his bad takes. Because, that person who quote tweeted it, with the 1 million followers, they were just like, well, every single one of his takes is trash or something. And someone was like, what are his bad takes? What are you talking about? Let's talk about it. And so many people responded with, of course, America deserved 9/11. That's like his most famous take. And I was like, why are so many people legitimately
leftists?
No, just Twitter people in general. A lot of liberals seemed like, or so-called apolitical people, like, well, that's
if they
crazy.
Can't so be called.
But the one, I'm just like, is this a conversation? Fuck off. Like, I mean, you can discuss whether it's good rhetoric and bad taste or whatever, but it's just like, I don't know. Do you really want to have a conversation about retaliation for meddling in the Middle East or whatever? Like, I doubt that you do, because he'll stand by that. And they're like, oh, someone even said, they're like, well, but he walked it back about this and that. It's like, no. You're getting confused. He walked back his comment about Dan Crenshaw getting fucked in his eye hole by a brave mujahideen. That's different. That's a different situation. But I wish he would stand by that one.
Coward. Yeah.
But the one that I got into these long threads about was someone bringing up a take that he supposedly had that I just kind of took at face value what they were saying. I don't know what stream it was from, but him saying that he'd rather not call the police on someone who robbed him if they were an illegal immigrant. It was probably over the last couple of years or something like that. And whether I agree with that or not, it's kind of like, okay, well, why do you think that's a bad take? And of course, there's the people that are just like, if you don't know why, you're just a fucking idiot, and I don't need to talk to you. I'm just like, why do you think it's a bad take? Like, what, you brought it up, you know?
If it's so simple, why don't you just
gotten a lot of
explain it?
back and forth with. I'm just like, I mean, I can get it. He can get it. No, I mean, I understand where this take comes from, where it's like, you're a wealthy person. And you would feel like in this strange hypothetical where you're robbed and you somehow know that it's an illegal immigrant, which just isn't going to happen. In this strange hypothetical that we're only having, that only exists for this philosophical discussion or this political discussion, you know, he's a wealthy person and he thinks that the harm that could be done to an undocumented immigrant by having the police called on them outweighs the harm done to him by having some stuff stolen from him. And it's like, I don't understand how you people can't understand this. And people are so adamant about it. And it really kind of pops your bubble. Oh my God. No, it really pops your bubble with anything outside of like leftist stuff that you're in. It's like, oh yeah, people don't
value property.
Oh yeah, and people are not ACAB, you know, generally, and it's just like it's only. I mean, people will say Black Lives Matter or whatever, but way more people are, you know, Joe Biden level, where it's like, yeah, but the police are important. If you don't,
NIMBYs, I think they're called.
Yeah, and it's like police are important, or if you don't call them, they're just gonna know that they can do it more.
Stopped.
It did. Mine's totally fine. Okay. So anyway, it stopped recording. Or Natalie stopped recording. Anyway.
I did. Sorry.
But let's move on from that. It was just a really funny... It's just kind of funny. Like, it's like, yeah, people generally believe that like police are that important to, I don't know, preventing crime and protecting us. It's like,
I think it's more than that. I think
it's like, do you think that calling the police afterwards is going to prevent, like, go back in time and prevent this from happening? No. It's like someone could be weighing the consequences, and I'm not even saying it's my take. Like, maybe I'd call the police if someone stole my car out of my driveway because I want to get it back, you know? Sometimes they'll do that. They can get your car back. But if I had extra stuff stolen from my house, I don't even know if I would call the police. Like, why? Why would I call the police? What are they going to do for me? I don't want them at my house. I don't want them beating some stranger because they stole from me. Fuck the police. I mean, generally.
Why would Hassan call the cops?
Exactly.
Of all people.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the take, that if people don't agree with that, whatever, they can't. I guess that they would just disagree with a lot of his takes because that seems very much aligned with who he is as a person. Like, he's rich, has excess, like he doesn't invest any of his money. He doesn't do this kind of stuff. He's like, he makes a lot of money, but he's like, tries to live like by some sort of like values or whatever. It would be really disappointing if it found out, so what, you got robbed? Who cares? The cops are not going to get that stuff back, and they're not going to make your house any safer, and you don't like the police. So if you disagree with that take, you probably just are not a leftist.
Yeah,
I would say that it's like a very, very compassionate view.
And that's why it
sounds like.
I think it's an interesting question to pose to those people, where it's like, well, where are you coming from, though? It's like, I understand why you think he's stupid or you disagree or whatever, because you're a right winger. No, I mean, because you're a right winger. It's
literally the only way that it's like, that's what you would like to hear from these people who have so much excess that you would want to hear that they try to be punitive and try to get those people. It's like, that's the ideal world that you'd live in, that we can't just be like, live and let live. I have so much more,
people
with that
so
person, whatever.
To literally
so hateful.
They say criminals are leeches. Criminals are parasites. They're not even people at that point. They're criminals. It's all stuff that I read in the replies. And for me, easily explaining what this take actually meant, people are just like, nah, this person's a brick wall. Inane Blather, they're an idiot. And I retweeted someone's, I don't know if it was from that conversation, but the guy was just like, I can only imagine what how bad your podcast is. Just people drooling into the microphone and making fart noises. I was like, hell yeah. And I retweeted it.
That's like kind of, honestly. We do some weird soundboard stuff, so it's not too far off. But yeah.
Because if we weren't doing that, boring. So
that's disappointing. And what do leftists hate about Hassan?
Oh, it's just typical. Just be happy you're not online. So whatever. Everyone hates everyone. The online left is the worst.
That's what another thing too.
It's not right wingers that want me to quit Twitter every day. It's leftists.
You're talking about your own people that are on your team, like that you're saying that they're stupid and that they're like idiots and morons, and that's how you're talking to them when they're trying to like agree with you.
Or just a constant thing of they're not leftist. That's not a real leftist. Calling people that, I mean,
it's gatekeeping.
You can have big time, and it's like, sure, you can talk about how, well, so sock Dems really aren't very left, or they're not real socialists, whatever. But it's like, just not saying like, oh, it's so brave or something, but it's like, it's a real thing to be calling yourself a socialist, in America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a huge movement. And it's just so insular online, I think, that people, that might be part of it. They think that it's a big movement, that they're like, well, you're not a real socialist. Like, what do you think you're doing with this so-called political capital that you're gatekeeping here? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Because it is, it's not
like,
whatever. It's so brave to say you're a socialist. But literally, when I got into that argument the other week in Vegas, when I said something about socialism, like being a good path forward, our mom's eyes were like, ooh, yikes. Even mentioning that word in like conversations, people are like, oh, brother.
People think that you
legitimately.
People legitimately, just normal everyday people walking around, business owners, stuff, like still think that if you are an admitted socialist, you should be put in jail. Like, that's like a normal thing to think for Americans. And so it's like being so exclusionary is so stupid. It's like, come on. Like, the international symbol of anti-fascism is an anarchist flag and a communist flag flying next to each other. Okay? It's the left. All right? It's a wide range of varying ideologies, but that are all truly egalitarian and collectivist all at once. Even anarchism, comparing it to hierarchical things like capitalism is more collectivist. Like we're supposed to be in this together is kind of the point, and it's like, and I understand, you want to weed out bad faith actors, but when you're online and it's like, no, this is 90% 16 to 24-year-olds that all truly just want the world to be a better place for them and their disabled selves and their friends and marginalized people, like, fuck off with your gatekeeping. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's like the most tired thing to say nowadays, but it's crazy because it's so true. Like, shut the fuck up. Stop calling each other out for not being leftist enough for someone else. I mean, it's fun to hate on liberals too, but it's like, you also want those liberals to move further left. Keep moving people further left. I understand we're not going to move Joe Biden left, but you're going to move someone that's online to the left. I know it for a fact because I did. Like, and I'm an old man compared to most of the online left. Compared to 99% of the online left. So it's like...
Yeah, it just seems the most disappointing because, as always...
I just turned 35 and I'm upset about it.
Yeah. People should know better on the left. It's like you're supposed to know better. That's why you know about the patriarchy. That's why you know about systemic oppression and white privilege and all that kind of stuff.
Exclusionary practices.
You're fucking supposed to be woke, motherfucker. And you're supposed to understand that the way to, teach people is probably not to tell them they're not doing a good enough job at learning this thing that they're trying to be better at while they're trying to be better for themselves and for the world. Maybe you shouldn't shit on them constantly where they're trying to be better. That's legit not how learning works. You should know way better. You guys are supposed to be this overeducated, like understanding, compassionate group, and you're out here cutting down your own teammates because they don't meet your standard when this whole thing is about someone else setting standards for you. Don't you know what the fucking patriarchy is? Don't you understand? Oh my God, it's so frustrating. Like, you, of all people, you queer fuck, should understand exclusionary practices and someone else setting
Do you want to exclude people from Pride because they're not queer enough? Fuck off. No, you don't. Like...
Yeah. It's frustrating. I mean, because everyone's just frustrated, though. It is because people
I believe the word is frustrated. That's how I hear it on the internet.
But I feel like when I imagine
fucking
these Soviet
stupid
style
F-word bitch.
That's frustrated is the F word.
Yeah. The Soviet style re-education camps would be like nice.
Oh,
you're not going to be like putting people, not putting people down for not being enough of leftists, giving them just the right stuff to read and like have conversations about it. Not be like, you're so fucking stupid. You think that this is the way forward. Yeah. God, how could you be so like, God, like you're so, what brought you to this point? You know what? I don't even care.
Let's at least get the ship pointed in the right direction before you worry about how we're going to be moving it forward, whether it's your ideas or someone else's,
Yeah, and also
instead of
it's like
all you're searching for is an opportunity to just be like
owned. Consider yourself owned because you are.
Yeah, legit. Because you know what? People do change. Like this woman I talked to today at the door said she grew up like a Christian conservative, and now she was given the right opportunities, people really can, that's how a lot of people become leftists too, is they start with a much different worldview and they grow.
With something
it's not
that's
all these
exclusionary.
Kids are born with
and then they
hippies
find
and stuff.
an inclusionary community, which the left
supposedly
should be.
Yes. It's supposed to be the place where you can think more freely. You're not restricted by religion or whatever else is there. Religion? I don't know.
Yeah. The patriarchy.
Yeah.
White supremacy.
There's a lot more thinking you can do. And, people all come from different... It just really feels like leftists should know that better than everybody. People come from all different perspectives and upbringings. And you can understand why you would think differently than other people.
Yeah, but too bad because the left is
psychotic,
deranged cultist liars.
And the more inward firing and exclusionary that large voices on the left will be, the more it fuels that sentiment. Like that people like that complete fucking moron Tim Pool become right every once in a while. And if they can point to something 1 out of 1,000 times, oh my God, it's worth 1,000 tweets.
Crystal flutes.
Yeah, a crystal flute.
This is propaganda.
And literally, sometimes they're right. Like, they go to the right. Like, Tim Pool could be some dummy for the left if people were nicer to that bald-headed fuck.
He was he was a reporter for Vice. No, and it's not about people being nicer to him. It's just we didn't propagandize him correctly. I don't know. Like, the money and the grift, that's the thing, is that the right is very inclusionary in terms of giving propagandists money. I mean, we gotta. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah, they're pretty diverse with that. They got Candace Owens. They've got Ben Shapiro.
They can get tokens there. They have money to spend because they have billionaire backers all over the place. And at the end of the day,
people have to flush their toilet 15 times.
I don't know. I just wanted to play something.
Even with all of that, we still have to flush our toilets 15 times.
And
so thoughtful. So thoughtful.
So thoughtful.
Very insightful.
This podcast?
So thoughtful.
Thank you.
But also this
so
podcast.
Nice.
These people are sick.
Oh, man.
We get those a lot.
Fucking Trump. Oh, my God. That whole thing. It's just getting better and better.
He's the best.
I don't know how much we're going to talk about it on this podcast over the next however long, but good Lord, that indictment. Oh, my God. He's so stupid.
I know. I was
like
just trying to. I was looking up an article about it. Or the best? I don't know.
Well, it's just so dumb. Like, literally, just when it comes down to, because you start wondering, like, is he like? This is the whole problem where one might actually worry about national security, even if you don't really care. As like a leftist, like, let the whole military-industrial complex fail, except I don't want all these people to lose their jobs. But still, it's like, I want openness. I'm not totally for the way that classified information is even structured. But
for sure,
you have to worry
sharing
when it's like,
caring.
wait a minute, a guy like this breaks these rules. Like, is he literally just trying to sell nuclear secrets to the Saudis? Like, it's all very reasonable.
He wouldn't be trying to, but he would.
Yeah, no,
he wouldn't be like
it's a very
that, like,
reasonable
like,
assumption.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A guy in like $1 billion in debt, facing all these lawsuits, who's really good friends with the Saudis, and has been very open about how he just straight up does business dealings with them when he was president. And but then it turns out that, like, no, he's just showing him off to like his valet driver and just like being like, actually, no one should be reading this because, see, it's top secret, so stand back. But hey, I got this thing, and just talking about classified shit and pointing to these boxes of stuff because he's just like. He's like your redacted uncle who's like not even a collector, but he still has like Nazi memorabilia because he thinks it's cool to be able to show it to someone. It's like, he's not a collector, he's not a Nazi, he's just like, yeah, but check this out. What? Why? I don't want to see that. What are you talking about?
This is really boring too, and also, dude.
Yeah, and it's boring. Like, what?
Again,
it's just random
like, why
shit.
are you like clout chasing? You were the fucking president.
Yeah.
You've been like all over the world, spoken to all these leaders and stuff. You lived in the fucking White House, and you're like, oh, look at this. We know that you had access to that.
He's like,
Everybody
he loses
knows that.
the election,
We were there.
and he's like, shit, what am I going to do for my ego now?
Yeah.
It's like, I need to show
Ride that
random
until you
people at
die?
the golf
Yeah.
course classified documents to be able to keep my ego inflated until I can start campaigning.
I'm so
full
cool.
throttle.
Look how cool I am.
He's like,
look how cool I am, random
we
person.
take 37
Yeah.
boxes of classified documents and put them in a bathroom. Oh, man. And in the ugliest bathroom of all time, Jesus Christ. Who has...
Yeah.
Did you see it? With his low-ass toilet? No wonder he's talking about having to flush your toilet all the time. He's constantly worried about toilets when he's president. It's like, what the hell's wrong with your bathroom, dude? Your toilet's like 8 inches off the ground, and you have a chandelier in your spare bathroom. What the fuck?
Imagine how dirty that chandelier gets. All the poop particles.
Poopicles.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up.
All right. Toot, toot.
Whoops! Oh, I was trying to just stop the recording, but I accidentally dropped a metal pipe instead.
On your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I almost just screamed out
The N-word.
but instead I held it in. That's my normal reaction. I usually just say the N-word, just literally. I would never say that, but I say the phrase the N-word because people turn around and they're not sure why. Like, wait a minute. That guy just said the N-word. He did?
Talking to me?
No, he said the N-word.
Literally.
Those three things. The N-word.
Louis C.K. has a bit about people saying the N-word. He's like, you're making me think it. You fucking say it. I don't want to say it. Like,
you're putting it in my head.
Yeah. Just say it. You're making me say it in my head because you said it.
Okay. Well, shout out to everyone, everywhere, except for those people that I was arguing with on Twitter. Fuck you.
No. Come listen.
No.
We'll change your mind.
No.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
That's what I say to them.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you.
Because I can't say that on Twitter. Most tweeters don't like replies like this as the message pops up when you want to say, for some reason, sometimes the word bullshit, sometimes the word moron, or sometimes I hope you fall down a flight of stairs onto a pile of Legos. And then they suspend
Lego
your
bricks.
account for 24 hours.
Yeah. You never know.
I think I actually said Lego bricks. I was thinking about that.
You did.
Yeah. But I had to do it properly. So.
Of course.
Okay, I love you. Shout out to Arm Brown, our Lord and Savior.
Shout out to Arm Brown, our Lord and Savior.
Goodbye, everybody.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Lynn.
I love you, okay. Happy birthday, Doug. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday yesterday. And I'm sorry you were sick. Happy birthday to you. Bye.
Was that for Danny Gonzalez?
Who?
Okay, bye.
Cares. Okay, bye.